The appeal against the acquittal of former Ivory Coast leader Laurent Gbagbo at the International Criminal Court is sparking mixed reactions in the country. For Gbagbo's Ivorian Popular Front Party, the appeal is disappointing, a judicial delaying tactic to keep Gbagbo and his deputy Charles Ble Goude as far away from the country as possible to prevent them from participating in the country's political life. According to ICC Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda, quote, the appeal will demonstrate that the trial chamber committed legal and procedural errors which led to the acquittals of Gbagbo and Ble Goude in January. The end quote. The appeal comes just months before the country holds presidential elections in 2020.
Effectivement, Linette, pour en parler, nous avons
Guinan Herman, member of the PDCI-RDA, is now live with us from Abidjan to discuss this. Good morning, Herman, and welcome to the program. Tell us what you make of the ICC prosecutor's decision to appeal the acquittal of Laurent Gbagbo.
Et Charles Ble Goude.
En tant que citoyen ivoirien, il y a deux sentiments qui nous animent.
As an Ivorian citizen, there are two feelings that actually motivate us. The very first feeling is the unhappiness of seeing that an empty prosecution case still continues to keep a worthy son of Cote d'Ivoire out of the national territory. Because the prosecutor's decision to appeal demonstrates the lack of awareness of the importance of President Gbagbo's return to the Ivorian territory. The second is the dismay to understand that this trial in itself is not in search of manifestation of the truth, but rather a conspiracy whose sole purpose is to keep a political opponent out of his jurisdiction. And that is really unfortunate. It is really unfortunate for the prosecutor's office.
And according to you, this appeal is a plot to keep Laurent Gbagbo out of his jurisdiction. But whom does this plot seem to be coming from?
No, don't worry about that. The intriguers or the sources of motivation are not what matters to us. What we retain is that today we do not measure what the arrival of Laurent Gbagbo will bring to Cote d'Ivoire. Our country has a desperate need for reconciliation, and this gentleman is one of the pawns of the puzzle of reconciliation, the instigator of which is President Henri Konan Bidier, president of the PDCI-RDA, who today, with his younger brother, President Laurent Gbagbo, are in the same vision to make reconciliation the new Gordian knot in Cote d'Ivoire. And it is a pity that the international justice, the prosecutor's office, does not realize that this gentleman, by definitively acquitting him of all his charges and releasing him, will bring added value to the stability of an entire state.
Monsieur Herman,
this decision may delay Gbagbo's return before the 2020 presidential elections. Does it upset the plans of the PDCI-RDA, which is already considering an alliance?
Il est clair, comme vous le savez, résolument engagé pour la reconquête du pouvoir en 2020.
As you may know, it is already clear the PDCI is resolutely committed to returning to power in 2020. But being an avant-garde party and always putting the supreme interests of the Ivorian nation in its approach, it does not raise the question of power as the most essential, but has made reconciliation the main focus of its approach to achieving power. That is why the PDCI-RDA approached the FPI so that together the issue of reconciliation could be truly addressed, so that Ivorians could rethink themselves and stop spreading hatred on a daily basis and holding people in contempt. So the PDCI-RDA in its approach takes the decision with great sadness for the issue of reconciliation, but continues to work so that all Ivorians find themselves under the theme of reconciliation. But it is clear that in 2020, we, the GDR, with another head, President Henry, who works on a daily basis to bring Ivorians together, will reconquer this power from the hands of those who make contempt.